only on RTV6 News.
Winter is coming. Sometimes it's mighty, sometimes it's minuscule. You expect snow, but sometimes you actually get severe storms. Anything can happen.
Indiana is so crazy, you know. There was one time it was like 73 in February.
And that's why our Storm Team 6 meteorologists are here for you tonight. We not only prepare you for the weather to expect, we show you the impact it could have on you. How do schools decide when to call for a delay or closure? What's the plan to take care of the roads? Can we expect another season of potholes? From preparing your car to the perfect snow plan, we're working for you. The question is, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah? Why?
This is Indiana. You wait for it.
No. I hate winter.
Working for you with an RTV6 News special, Weathering Winter in Indiana.
Welcome in. I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Winter, it's inescapable here in Indiana. And on top of that, it's sometimes unpredictable. That's why we're here for you to prepare you for all that winter could bring, the good, the bad, and the bumpy. Our first snow of the season certainly was spookier than usual. That fell on Halloween night, October 31st. Of course, we should get a lot more snow this winter as the season moves forward. But it's not just snow. When it comes to winter in the Hoosier State, you might as well throw a dart and see where it lands. You might be surprised I'm starting with this, tornadoes. They do occur in the winter months. Most recently, severe weather produced a tornado in February of this year and 2 tornadoes in February of 2014. As you know, snow is certainly far more likely than severe storms, though. The earliest measurable snowfall ever recorded in Indianapolis occurred October 18, 1989, and the latest ever arrived May 9, 1923. We've had snowless winters. In 1931-32, we only had 0.2 of an inch of snow. Most recently, in the winter of 1997-98, we had only 3.9 inches of snow in Indianapolis. We handled that. It was no big deal. We've had relentless winters. Over 52 inches of snow fell during the winter of 2013-14. Just under a foot of snow blanketed Indianapolis on January 5th, 2014, followed by temperatures at 15 below zero. Memories of the blizzard of '78 are also frozen in Hoosiers' minds. The first ever blizzard warning for the entire state was issued just before 4 p.m. on January 25th. Over the next 30 hours, the storm produced wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, temperatures hovering around zero, nearly 16 inches of snow, and drifts measured in feet. The state was brought to a standstill.
Our major effort in the last 2 days has been to free up the city as much as we can, beginning with the primaries and the thoroughfares, and then moving out as time permits.
Before we talk about the all-time coldest temperatures, let's recognize the impact of large fluctuations in temperatures. In January of this year, temperatures were as warm as 56 degrees and as cold as 11 below zero. Those extremes lead to potholes, lots of them. Before we talk more about extreme temperatures, I need to layer up, really layer up. Okay, now I'm ready. The all-time coldest temperature settled into central Indiana on January 19th, 1994. The record-shattering temperature in Indianapolis plunged to 27 below zero. New Whiteland and Johnson County hit rock bottom at 36 below zero.
I checked it and found our low reading was a minus 36.
You might say we're still thawing out. You know the saying, records are made to be broken. We'll see if we rewrite history in the next few months.
Now that we've looked back at some of the extreme winter weather we've experienced over the years, you might be curious as to what the season ahead is going to be like. I'm digging into the winter outlook with what you can expect. From slick roads during your commute to battling extreme cold, winter weather can be harsh and have a big impact on your day. That's one reason so many of us search for the earliest signs of what the winter ahead will bring. And we can find some of those answers in the Winter Outlook issued by the Climate Prediction Center. Much of central Indiana falls in the equal chances category, meaning there's no strong signal leaning any one direction, leaving us to spin the wheel of chance with about a 33% likelihood of temperatures being near, below, or above average for the season. Mike Ryan, a senior meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis, is taking a closer look at years past and current global patterns to get a clearer picture of what we can expect. He says there are some signs that could tip the scale in the colder direction.
It's not going to be long-term cold. It's going to be up and down, and that may last well into December before we get into more of a stronger cold setup.
So does more cold mean more snow? Well, much of central Indiana is highlighted and above average for precipitation over the winter.
We do think it's going to be more active, especially second half of the winter. I think some potential is there for a backloaded winter. With that being said, I think we're going to have ample opportunity to get some snowfall out of that.
Ryan says if the cold and busy weather pattern line up the way he thinks it will, snowfall could end the season in the 20 to near 30-inch range. That's near to a little above average for central Indiana. One of the factors limiting confidence in the seasonal outlook, though, is a lack of influence from either El Nino or La Nina.
Because we have such a weak ENSO phase, that opens the door to so many other factors that come into play. How the snow cover develops to our north and west in the coming weeks and months will play a factor in that. How quickly we get ice on the Great Lakes can play a factor into that.
So while we have an idea of how the season will shape up, it's going to come down to more short-term patterns a couple of weeks out that really define how brutal or forgiving our winter will be. And Mike Ryan says he also sees the potential for winter to last a little longer this year with active weather, possibly even snow, lingering into March.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Many of us are dreading driving on Indiana roads this winter just because of snow and ice, but potholes are a major headache. Call 6 Investigates. Kara Kenny is digging in what to the state is to keep our roads in better shape this winter.
Who can forget this? Last year's winter tore up our streets. The freeze-thaw pockmarked our roads with potholes.
I hate potholes. I've had 2 tire blowouts because of potholes.
You can get in an accident if they're bad enough because people will dodge them.
So will it be more of this winter? We took your questions to the Indiana Department of Transportation.
What have you guys been doing over the past year to make sure that this winter will be better?
So we have been doing a lot of winter damage repair in Marion County and across the state of Indiana. So we've spent $90 million in Marion County just this summer. It's the most construction we've ever done in Marion County.
The state's improved every major interstate in some way. Asphalt, concrete, and bridges. $140 million invested statewide this year, and they're not done. Construction will continue through the end of November, just in time for winter weather.
So all the pain that everyone has felt all summer long will really be worth it this winter when you have a smoother commute.
This year, the Indianapolis Department of Public Works has repaved or strip patched more than 200 lane miles. Take a look at Senate Boulevard. It looks like a checkerboard because of all the strip patching. The city just repaved 2 roads in Brendanshire on the east side. This neighborhood's faced pothole and drainage problems for the past 40 years. What did it look like out here?
War zone. The streets were so bad with the chuck holes and stuff. You had to be careful where you were walking.
The smooth blacktop is a welcome sight, especially as we head into winter weather.
Well, for the residents, it's really been exciting because that's one of the main complaints we get as officers of this area is, when are you going to fix our roads?
In addition to repaving, DPW filled 500,000 potholes this year. The city says you can help keep our roads in shape by helping stormwater drain away from streets and sidewalks. A big factor impacting how the roads hold up, how much freezing and thawing this winter holds. INDOT and DPW are asking drivers to be realistic.
You still might see a couple potholes out there this winter. We're not saying that, but this is going to be a major difference from winters in the past.
Working for you, I'm Call 6 Investigates, Kara Kenny.
And it's not just potholes. There are extra dangers on the road during winter months that you can't afford to ignore. Cameron Riddle finds out what you need to have before hitting the road.
Sergeant John Perrine joins us with the Indiana State Police. We've got to have the cars ready to go so that we don't end up on the side of the road.
Yeah, Cameron, it's that time of year where we've got a few nice days here, and it's time now to get your car ready. You need to check a few things. Make sure your spare tire has air in it. That's one of the biggest things we see is change a tire and then the tire's flat. Or the tools to change a tire. Make sure you have a jack. Make sure everything works. Make sure that your windshield washer fluid is full, your headlights work, your taillights work. It's time just to go through that checklist on your car and get your car ready to go.
So speaking of things that are in your car, what you want to have there now before you actually need it are some things maybe that you haven't thought about, and maybe some of this is already in there. Mike Pruitt, captain with Wayne Township Fire, joins us for this portion. We're going to load up the back of this truck and talk about some of the things that we are going to need in here.
We've got our window scraper, which is essential because everybody likes to scrape that window off in the morning and make that little bitty hole, which is totally unacceptable, by the way. So clean them off good. Keeping blankets in the car, so if you do get stranded, you have something to wrap up, keep that body heat in. John put the shovel in here. You know, one thing that people don't think about if they get stuck in the snow for one reason, we want to clear our tailpipe away because the snow can get built up around the tailpipe and we can create a carbon monoxide issue in the car. So having a shovel in there just to clear your tailpipe away if you know you're going to be stuck for a little bit waiting on help. Keeping snacks and water. You know, a lot of people don't associate dehydration with wintertime, but you can get just as dehydrated in the wintertime, so having an ample supply of water in the car is essential. Keeping gloves, hat to put on just to keep yourself warm, first aid kit, keeping a flashlight, hand warmers, the essential jumper cables, keeping those ready to go at all times if you need to jump start your car, which we know when winter hits, people get dead batteries all the time. And so if you get out and get your car serviced now, you may not run into those problems down the road.
So now is the time to get this stuff before you need it. You don't want to need it and not have it. That is the message from Wayne Township Fire and the Indiana State Police and RTV6 as we try to get you ready and prepared to drive in winter weather. I'm Cameron Riddle working for you, RTV6.
So how do schools decide to cancel classes? And what can working parents do if there's a last-minute snow day? Those answers next.
America's Network, shine on this fall.
Welcome back. Rain, snow, and even ice. We deal with all of it during the winter, and that type of precipitation we get with each system depends on the temperature, not just here on the ground, but up above, too. Falling from the cloud, it all starts as snow, but melting can happen quickly when the rest of the air is above freezing. The result is a chilly rain for us here on the ground. But those temperatures near the surface play an important role in what kind of wintry weather we experience. If the temperatures near and just above the surface drop below freezing, then things get messy for us with freezing rain coating the roads and trees in ice. If that layer of cold air is deeper, what melts above has time to freeze again into sleet pellets that bounce when they hit the ground. And last but not least, we get snow when temperatures are near or below freezing all the way from the cloud down to the ground.
And when winter weather hits, schools have to decide, cancel, delay, or keep the buses rolling. Each district considers how it will impact a parent's day, but the #1 priority is making the choice for safety. Mike Tomes has driven a school bus through 7 central Indiana winters.
You just have to go slow and be cautious.
Snow, ice, or fog can make his job downright dangerous, which is why before Tomes even gets behind the wheel, Director of Operations Derek Shelton has been up for hours monitoring the roads for Mount Vernon School Corporation.
I get up roughly about 4:30 every single morning.
The transportation team drives down rural roads, side streets, and main drags looking for snow drifts and ice. It takes them about an hour to check the entire district, which stretches nearly 70 miles.
South of 70 gets a little bit more different weather than north of 70. And, you know, if we get a lot of snow up here, they don't always have a lot of snow down there.
And the call to cancel or delay is not taken lightly.
It's really hard because we want to make a conservative call on the side of safety for everyone, yet we also can empathize that it messes the family schedule up.
It sometimes can be very tricky. It is not an exact science.
Indianapolis Public Schools also sends out transportation staff to check the roads.
We send people out to each of the 4 corners of the district, basically, so we're getting an accurate representation.
And snow and ice aren't the only issues.
Last year, we had several cancellations and delays because of the extreme cold.
If temperatures are well below 0, or if the wind chill falls into the 10 minutes to frostbite range, then there may be a call to delay or cancel. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
And when schools close, that leaves parents trying to figure out who can watch their kids. RTV6's Nicole Griffin found there is a safe option you can rely on at the YMCA.
When Indianapolis Public Schools cancels class for a snow day, parents may not have family members who live nearby to watch their children. And that is why the Ursay Family YMCA has what they call a snow day camp. A snow day is always something that the kids look forward to, but for parents, it can be stressful as they try to figure out who can watch their children when school closes for the day.
Unfortunately, when the weather decides to do what it's going to do and it snows, a lot of families can't stop and a lot of jobs keep going.
That's where the YMCA Snow Day Camp comes in. Danny Staley is the day camp program specialist at the Ursay Family YMCA.
As soon as we get notification that IPS or another school district across the city has closed, our camp program directors kick into gear and we figure out where we can have camp.
Families can sign up for Snow Day Camp on the YMCA's website under Youth Development. It typically costs between $39 and $50 depending on if you are a YMCA member. There is also a weather line that families can call and a Facebook page to get information about where Snow Day Camp is located.
A lot of families really love that we offer this. It just provides them peace of mind to know that when something unexpected happens, we'll be there to take over for them and help them out.
Snow Day Camp runs from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Each YMCA monitors the school districts and closures in their area. Working for you in Indianapolis, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
The Red Line is Indianapolis' newest transportation option, but there are things you need to know before heading to the bus stop this winter. That next on Weathering Winter in Indiana on RTV6.
Only on RTV6 News.
And welcome back to Weathering Winter in Indiana. Well, Indigo's Red Line is Indianapolis' newest transportation option, but those buses haven't gone through an Indiana winter as of yet. I found out what you need to know as a rider and what other drivers need to do to stay safe.
The Red Line has now been running over 2 months through the streets of Indianapolis, but this will be the first winter season of snow, sleet, ice, and cold temperatures that Indigo will have to contend with.
On quiet weather days when there's no rain or snow, these Red Line platforms, well, they're easy to navigate. You have this nice gentle incline you walk up as you get to the platform. Whether you choose to sit or stand on these Red Line platforms, every one of them is open air. So that means the wind will whip the snow and the rain in here. However, Indigo does have a plan.
There are 28 stops along the 13-mile route that will need to be maintained and cleared of ice and snow. However, each ramp and platform was built with that in mind, as every station has a snow melt system that heats the concrete.
As the system senses that the temperature is changing and that there's moisture on the platform, it kicks on automatically to keep the snow from accumulating on the platform.
If temperatures get too cold or we get too much snow for the heating system to keep up, Indigo will also have employees out salting and shoveling. Speaking of cold, we all know how our cell phone batteries die quicker in the colder temperatures. Well, what about the batteries on these electric buses? Through testing, the Red Line has determined the best range for these electric buses to operate in the colder temperatures compared to the summer months, so they are prepared. And even early next year, charging pads will be installed at each end of the route that will recharge the buses while en route, keeping them operating for even longer hours. Finally, you may have asked a question about plowing the streets with the rubber median in the middle of the street and those plastic poles around the station. Well, these concerns are in good hands.
Our partners at DPW are taking care of the plowing and the salting.
While we don't know exactly what winter will throw at us this year, as always, if using the Red Line, use caution on the ramps and platforms. And if you're driving, give the buses a little extra room so whether you are a driver or a rider, we all get to our destination safely. Working for you, Todd Clausen, RTV6.
Our closing thoughts for you as we prepare you for winter. It's advice you can't miss.
Doors were even there.
Our show tonight may be ending, but as we all know, winter is just about to begin. Don't forget our Storm Shield app. It is free. That's key. It is also important. It's a weather radio for your phone. So if we have a big snow event on the way or even severe weather during the winter season, it will alert you. The RTV6 app, latest forecasts, school closings and delays, and the latest traffic information. For Alyssa, Todd, and Kyle Mounts, I'm Kevin Gregory. Thanks for watching tonight, and have a safe winter.